morning feeling sick. Let's just say that with being busy with Riley and some other matters, I've just gotten off of a regular sleep schedule, and just a lot of other things have happened. And let's just say that, I mean, I know this is a little graphic, but let's just say that when you have irritable bowel syndrome like I do, constipation and other issues are not your best friend at all. So I've been, of course, still been paying attention to the news, and one of the headlines I saw today was that Netanyahu might withdraw from the West Bank, or wherever it is. I think it's the West Bank. And I'm sitting there going, nice. So basically, everything that I thought is pretty much confirmed when Netanyahu pandering to the Haredi and now wanting to basically withdraw from the West Bank. And there was a rumor for a while, too, that he was pretty much thinking about giving more land to the so-called Palestinians. As I said, I'm like, nice. So the guy's an anti-Zionist Haredi schmuck posing in Chelani clothing. I'm like, well, we're in trouble. We need someone else besides Likud. We need someone who, for one thing, is like Golda Meir. Okay, even if she's really secular, or he's really secular, and he, like, someone like Yair Lapid, we need someone who, even if they might be secular, is pretty much tolerant of everybody, not just the Haredim, and certainly won't give any land to the so-called Palestinians, and is committed to a Jewish state that actually goes by the Israeli Declaration of Independence. And that includes, of course, like I said, being tolerant to people besides the Haredim. That includes Messianic Jews, Reform Jews. I could name others, obviously, like Hindus and Boo Jews, but, I mean, in a lot of ways, unfortunately, Rabbinic Judaism is so replete with a lot of Eastern ways that it's just like, okay, what's the difference? Hindu, Boo Jew, Rabbinic Judaism, I mean, really. Anyway, and it's funny, too, because, like, people say, well, how is Judaism replete with Eastern ways? And I'm like, really? First of all, Tanakh says it, and secondly, oy, oy, oy. There's just, even praying Kaddish, if you pray for the person, you can have their soul ascend up to heaven. And I mean, once the person's, for lack of a better term, deceased, they're deceased. And Karaites.org did a really good talk about this. Oh, here we go, Karaites and reincarnation, and it's taking a little while to load. Oh, there we go. Karaites.org, in reference to reincarnation, it talks about, no, Judaism does not believe in reincarnation, despite what the so-called rabbis, what the rabbis would like you to believe. And as I said, I'm trying to take a less legalistic approach to the verse where it says, do not call anyone rabbi. I've read the commentary on that, and okay, I'm going to have to go to another website here. Oh, KaraiteJudaism.org. Okay. And, so it talks about how reincarnation is not a Jewish belief. And, oh, okay. Huh. Alright. I'm not the best speller in the world there sometimes, so. But anyway, it talks about how reincarnation is not a Jewish belief, so I'm like, well, it's kind of easy to see why. Let's see. I wish he had a search thing here on the website so you could see that. For one thing, you could see what kind of subjects we're talking about here. Okay, KaraiteJudaism.org and reincarnation. Let's see. Alright. I'm looking for the actual. Okay, well, first of all, it says that, reincarnation did not come around. If you Google for other results, it didn't come around within Judaism until the 13th century with the Zohar. And, okay, what is the... Okay, here we go. CareWrightInsights.com. Okay, so again, I had been on the wrong website, and it says here, okay, reincarnation. It says clearly, let's see, it talks about Daniel 2:12, and it says, it should be noted that this is in stark contrast to the doctrine of reincarnation popular among many rabbis, for which there is no support in Tanakh whatsoever. In fact, the Tanakh implies just the opposite in several verses, that the life we live is our one and only life, so we make the most of it. And it talks about, and here we go. One of the verses is Deuteronomy 8:10-11. There shall not be found among you anyone that makes his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, one that uses divination, a soothsayer, or an enchanter, or a sorcerer, or a charmer, or one that consults a ghost or familiar spirit, or a necromancer. And so, the verse that we're talking about in terms of where it talks about Judaism being replete in Eastern ways at the current time, not Karaite Judaism, might I add, but Rabbinic Judaism. So we're going to Isaiah 2, and it says, this is according to Mechan Mamre. It says, for thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, for they are replenished from the east, and with soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in a brood of aliens. Their land is also full of silver and gold, neither is there any end of their treasures. Their land is also full of horses, neither is there any end of their chariots. Their land is also full of idols. Every one worshippeth the work of his own hands, that which his own fingers have made. And then we could go on, and because verse 9 says, and man boweth down, and man lowereth himself, and thou canst not bear with him. So basically, it's easy to see why many people who are raised within Rabbinic Judaism become Jew-boos or Hindus or, any other kind of Jew with an Eastern strain in their beliefs. And, let's see, so, of course, it was on the, right, so the thing about anti-Zionism, and then, of course, if you believe the Talmud, and you believe the Haredi, and, and, of course, Lapid being tolerant of everyone, unlike the Haredi, even tolerant of Hindus and Bujus for what it's worth. Anyway, so, I mean, even, as I said, it would be far preferable for Yair Lapid or someone like that to be Prime Minister than Netanyahu, but there you go.